Capital projects are really important for the mining industry, and what we're finding is with cost inflation and the shortage of resources in terms of human resources, equipment, input materials like oil and cement and steel, that the costs are really going up. So capital projects are definitely a big issue for the mining industry. The second one is production cost increases. The same materials which are required for capital projects are often required for the production process. The third one that we're really seeing is the shortage of skilled resources in the form of people. And when we talk about skilled resources, it's not just geologists and mine engineers, but it's truck drivers and technical people as well. A good example of that is what we're seeing in Western Australia, that the guys who are driving the big haulage trucks are earning upwards of $145,000 a year for driving a haulage truck. So if we look at these three components, they really are significant for the mining industry. And if we think about what they should be doing in terms of input costs for production costs, some of the things that we're seeing are really supply risk management, which is coming in a much more significant way, where the mining companies are starting to focus on how to manage their longer term supply of these critical components. And that means really understanding what the supply situation is globally, but also making sure you understand who the vendors are and the suppliers that can really deliver for you and that will be there for you. Obviously, the larger you are as a mining company, the more influence you're going to have over these vendors. But just understanding the risk associated with the supply of each of the different materials required in the production process is really something that helps the mining industry manage these costs. The other one is really understanding how to manage the labor costs effectively. In certain parts of the world, we're seeing an increase in automation as people are trying to manage the costs, the increasing costs. As I mentioned earlier, the truck driver earning $145,000 a year, that's a very high cost for somebody doing a job which is not that complex. And so we see a lot of mining companies looking at investing in technology to automate many of these processes. So really managing costs from a production perspective is about standing back and looking at the bigger picture and understanding what the primary cost drivers are, and then understanding how to manage the risk associated with each of those cost drivers. The mines that are now being developed are in very remote and inhospitable areas of the world, whether it's in Outer Mongolia or in the sub-Arctic or even in the Arctic or in the middle of the Atacama Desert. These are very inhospitable conditions and climates for humans to work in. In Chile, we typically see mines at 3,000 to 4,000 meters above sea level, which makes it very difficult for humans to operate effectively. So if we look at the baby boomer demographic combined with the situation of having mines in very inhospitable places, it creates big problems for the mining industry to be able to attract the right amount of people into their businesses. So we're seeing automation as a solution to that. We're also seeing much more job design coming to the fore, where people are really thinking about what is the truly necessary human component of this job and what components can be done by other means. And secondly, what components of the job actually need to happen at the mine site versus which components can happen at other places and be staged and sent to the mine site. So this is really job design, and so we're seeing a lot of scrutiny on job design as well as technology to alleviate this supply shortage.